Good afternoon, everyone. It's Chris from Axel. I hope you're enjoying your long weekend. I'm going to keep this video short and brief. This is our website. You can check us out with the disclosure right here. So that's the first thing. Second thing, you can find us on YouTube. Please hit the subscribe button. 41% of you do not subscribe to this weekly video that I do give out about the overall market. We use this for individual investors as well as accredited investor as well as institution for setups and understanding risk involved in active trading. And you can find us on X basically on X, and I will go over something that I put out on SpaceX in the past couple of days on the charts to kind of give you an overall view what I look for and how we look for it when the momentum is going higher or coming back down on the pushes up and down. And here you can see good morning in the overnight inventory. We have a gap up rule in the S&P Nasdaq while the R2A made a new high that day. And pay attention to basically the semiconductor, IGV, Bitcoin, and Amazon, JP Morgan, which hit a new high and on Thursday sold off, including SpaceX versus the dollar, the VIX, which is the fear and greed, TNX, the basically interest rate bearing account, move is an interest, and ZF is the 5-year notes, U.S. on crude oil while it was dumping that week after they said there was going to be an agreement and the signing between Iran and the U.S. And you can see here SpaceX on that day when the IPO account came out, it came from 135, the high was 176, and the volume weighted averages basically was sitting right here and was sitting around 189. It rallied up to 225 and came back from there, and I will show you on the resets what it did in the following days. So if I go back here and I called this here and I said pay attention, keep an eye on SpaceX and crude oil, you can see here on SpaceX it was overinflated, and I said pay attention to it. They may be we may be falling back in, and we fell back in, and we had the 3-day holiday, and I called in the group the 175 area to 173 as a buy zone coming in from the 200. You can see here on that day on Thursday SpaceX following the IPO we hit 229. People that had bought the 225 got caught basically coming back down, and it was sitting at the 187 in the morning. We came back all the way to 171, 173, and there was a reversal back on that Thursday. I was only in the room that day early morning, and we traded the first 2 hours of it, and I had to go out on the road on Friday, because on Thursday I should say, for that long weekend. And once again, you can find us on YouTube and check out that channel so you can subscribe and let us know what you think of this video. Let's go to the first slide I have up here on Thinkorswim, which is through Schwab. I have the small cap IWM value play, and I wanted to show from the January, February high, that was the March low. We had this island reversal gap and we continued higher, and you can see we were zigzagging in that linear regression. We created a new high. We fell back down in the IWN and came back in the range when we filled up from the high to low, the 38.2, and we pushed up on Friday. That's in the IWM. Let's take a look at right now the semiconductor SMH. And what I wanted to do is show you here that most people are not understanding in the semiconductor. I wanted to show you here from the January, February low as well as the March low, the rally in the island reversal. There's one here, big one. There's another one right here. And we never retested it here when we filled the gap. We didn't fill it. We continued higher, came back, retested. We came back down, and it was a short week day trading. That was the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday was an inside day due to the Fed announcement. And we had Thursday push up, and we closed right above in that area on that linear regression uptrend channel. So if I want to take a look at the overall holding, I can go to analysis and I can put SMH here just to give everybody some kind of a clear idea. Now what I want to do is basically come here, take a look at the holdings on SMH. I can push this up. What it'll do, it'll give me an overall positioning and the holding of the stocks. So you can see nvda is part of that group, is 14%. TSM is, which is a Taiwanese semiconductor. MU, Micron, Intel, AMD, AVGO, and so on. So I want to make sure everyone understands when we are looking at something, we understand the holdings in that position. So whenever you're buying an electronically traded fund, understand the sector, understand the individual stocks, then understand the momentum when things are moving in the upside or the downside. I will do the same thing in XLK or SOXX, SOXX. SOXX. Let's do SOX. And you can see SOX as well pushed up. If I come to the market watch or the analysis tab and I put SOXX, I want to kind of show you what the overall holdings are in the positioning in SOX. So you can see here the education and the resources part of that. And you can see in the top holdings is MU, AMD, NVDA, AVGO, Intel, Marvel, AMT, TSM. So the holdings are a little bit different, but I want people to pay attention to those semiconductor, even IGV in that platform. So this is kind of giving you an overall view what you should look for when you are trading an individual stock or a sector in those accounts. And you can see we created a new high. Let's take a look at the short-term ZF, which is the 5-year notes. I wanted to show this here because the Federal Reserve Board on Wednesday, they're going to keep their talk to a minimum and less announcement, less media in interaction with the public so they don't interfere with the overall market. So on quarterly basis, we pay attention to the interest rates in relationship to what crude are doing. And you can see on the short-term 5-year notes, the Treasury bill eventually, came back down on the short-term and interest rates a little bit on a little spike, but I'm going to show you the dollar here because people want to invest in the U.S. And after the Iran agreement, as well as the U.S., you can see we pushed up on the dollar. We had an inverted hammer. After the push up, we went above the 100. I am paying attention to that 100.25 in this area if it does hold, and coming back to this area in order to continue higher if they do invest in those instruments. If I take a look at the VIX, which is the fear and greed, we can see after, war, no war, interest rate, and so on, we pushed up, we came back down. We are settling in that bottom area. That means there's no fear. Trade the instruments. So we're going to do what we're going to look at the micros, the fundamentals, then the technicals in order to trade certain instruments without being biased. So this is kind of showing you that there is no fear in the market under the VIX. So if I take a look at SPX, the A, which I'm going to look at the 50 moving average, you can see it right here. If I take the high from the beginning of the year till the March low, so if I take the measuring tool, I'm going to use this measuring tool from this high to this low, and I'm kind of want to show you that a lot of the instruments above the 50 simple moving average, and we are pushing part of the S&P 500 above the 50, but we can see we are between the 50 and the 80, there's a 60% right here. We are above the 60%. We are around the 65 to 66% right here, closing on that 50 simple moving average in the SPX. So let's take a look at right now. The Magnificent 8. And what I want to do, I don't have SpaceX in there. I do have Netflix part of the Magnificent 7. And we can see in this part, after getting that triple top, we had that shoulder, that head, this kind of a weird shoulder. It's consolidated. We fell down. The March rally back up, double top. We came back in. We found resistance. And now we are trying to move up in Alphabet, Apple, Amazon, Alphabet, Google, Meta, Microsoft, nvda, as well as Tesla. But I do include myself, Netflix, in there. And we can see we are in that consolidation. If I take the high and low, we are above the 50. And I wanted to show this here before I take it out. You can see the 50 where we are above. We are around the 60% or the 61.8 on a FIP. Let's go back right here. And what I want to do from this area, take a look at this one. I put it in last week and I showed it here. Let me see. Did I put it here? Yeah, we didn't. Yeah. Okay. Let's go from IWM. And what I wanted to do here is show you a couple of different instruments like JP Morgan created an annual high in the last couple of days and sold off. That means the banking sector are starting to slow down, and as well as institution. It's a broker dealer. It double topped up here. You can see that double top. This is, I consider this as tweezer's top in the sell off. So I am paying attention to this consolidation up here and the breakout of this candle in case JP Morgan gets to this area and reverses back up after that push up. So if I look at Visa, I want to show you Visa as well. You can see where it is. MasterCard. I wanted to show you them because we're starting to bottom out. But that's part of the XLF financials. So you know the sectors. We can see we pushed up and we sold off a little bit. So we got to pay attention. This was the breakout on that channel after the move up in XLF. So let's take a look at now crude oil. Micro CL. I'm going to use the micro CL instead of the CL because I do have a lot of Fibonacci's on it. And you can see after that 119, 110 area, we were not able to stay above that area. We consolidated at the 90 and 85 area for a long time. And I had called 89.89 in my group. And I said, be careful in case we fall underneath. We can see this island reversal on the break after that. That was the breakout on the channel. I'll show it on the weekly charts 3-year so everyone can see it. When we pushed up, you can see that linear regression downtrend channel. We broke up, ran up, coming back. I am looking for this backside of this channel if there's going to be consolidation at that most volume where it appeared in the prior 3 years, if there's consolidation in that area in crude. So let's take a look at now the micro ES, and I want to show you how to look at it, looking at the market profile, understanding the risk and the levels. You can see this is on a weekly basis. So we're going to bring it into a daily chart. First of all, we can use the S&P 500, which is the ETF SPY. You can see the island reversal push up, double top, fall back in and rally back up. The sentiment is on the upside. So if I come into the daily charts and I use it 10-day or 20-day for a 5-hour chart, you can see that double top up here. We fell back down. We filled that gap, island reversal, and rallied back up, came back in on the overnight and closed in on Friday. This is the Thursday session, which was up. But on Friday session, due to the European market and the close on Friday, the U.S. market is closed, we can see we had an inside bar. So if I go in the style, if I go to the style and I want to show you the monkey bars where we go standard, we go to monkey bars. You can see in the monkey bars, the market profile value high, point of control. I'm going to zoom in here after filling that island reversal. Let's just zoom in here. So you can see that the value high, value low, point of control, and the time spent. Usually when we look at the high and low, and if my 50%, the sentiment is usually bearish. So, but this was a P formation. We had an, after the Fed announcement came back in, we rallied back up, but we had an inside bar. And on Friday, we had an inside bar on the holiday European Asian market. We are not open, but we consolidated. Let's go now take a look at the micro NQ. And I wanted to show the micro NQ after you see this gap island reversal. We never filled it. We filled the prior almost week before, but we still have the island reversal. We rallied up, but on the NQ, we have a little bit more strength. This is overlapping to higher the point of control. So we can see the point of control. Point of control, this is the Friday, value high, value low, and the time spent in the 24 hours. We can see it in the Asian European markets, while the US market was that day. So let's go from the style, go back to the monkey bars, from monkey bars to standard. You can see that when we came back in, we did not fill 100% of the island reversal, and we reversed back up. And we had an inside day on Friday, which was, from this is the Tuesday, this this is the Wednesday. Then from Wednesday's Fed announcement, Thursday was a rally up, but the Friday was an inside bar from the Thursday in the European market. We are in an uptrend as long as we can see that we are in an uptrend. But in case we do sell off, pay attention to the backside of F3 and the value area high on the monthly chart, which is in red. This is the point of control on the monthly. Okay, I hope this is helping you to understand the levels on the charts. So we go back to the daily. And we can see in the daily, I had this wedge up here. We eventually fell through that wedge. We lost it, removed the drawing. We can see I had the upper wedge up here, removed the drawing. Now we are kind of double top. I'm paying attention to that cup and handle. You can see this is the cup, this is the handle. If there's going to be continuation, or do we come back and fill the island reversal between F3 and F5, or is there going to be continuation to the upside in the NASDAQ and the semiconductor? If I take a look at IGV, you can see IGV sold a little bit more. So if I'm going to look at the airlines, I'm going to show you like a couple of airlines. Because the price of oil is coming down, people are traveling around the holidays, around summer. So I'm going to show you American Airlines, AAL. You can see American Airlines is looking for a breakout. I can show you the Delta, I believe the Delta, Delta, it'll show me Delta. DAL, I believe. DAL, Delta. Delta Airlines. You can see it's consolidating. I'm going to show you one more. Jets. And you can see it's ready to break out because this is the triple top up here. If there's going to be continue, I'm looking at the islander. If it falls back in this area, there's going to be an opportunity for a buy zone. If there's a breakout, you take the breakout on it. This is, for educational use only. So let's take a look at the in one sector. What I want to do is cover Caterpillar. I want to show you it made a new high. DE. You can see it's starting to come out. Let's take a look at as well AMD. I want to show you AMD. I want to show you Intel, INTC. This is where most people are not understanding Intel. You can see it created a flag. It pushed up, came back down, rallied up, came back in. And on Wednesday, it had that inside day. On Friday, got that gap and rally above. So it did close above the 32. If I take a look at the distance from here to here, and I think there's going to be, or from here to here, I think that there's going to be an expansion to the upside. What I'm going to do is duplicate this expected move. So I take this area to here. You see it? And I want to duplicate it to the top, duplicate the drawing. Over time, we will get there. Okay, everyone? So let's do this here. Anchor it. And I want to leave it alone. So I'm expecting the move back up in this area soon. Even if I fall back in 50% of the move and fill this island coming back to this area and rallying, I would look at Intel, AMD, part of the chip manufacturing instead of NVDA. I know everybody's looking at NVDA, and I can see there's a lot of consolidation. You can see this consolidation here, that double top coming back in, consolidate for a while, create an island reversal. You can see it here, rallied up, came back to that breakout, pushed up, had a lower high, and now we are in so you can see this area here. There's a lot of consolidation. In order to NVDA to clear, I have to keep an eye on 212 as well as the backside at 215 in order to run up. If I fall from here to here and you're going to expect to move higher, I'll take this area here, then to the upside, the measured expected move. And once it clears this area here, then I would look for the 222, 220 area. So that's an NVDA. Let's take a look at the Google and Amazon. Hold on, I'll do this one, Google alone. You can see Google now is starting to consolidate. It's been baselining here. If there's going to be a breakout, I'm looking for the upside here in order to continue to fill the island reversal that was created in here. And there's one in here because the light volume, if there's going to be a push up, and if I take a look at the Amazon, Let's do Amazon, and you can see Amazon, it's in that consolidation in that area of the breakout where it broke out, fell in, broke out, fell back in, and it's trying to get into that area for the push up. If it does, that would be great. Let's take a look at now SpaceX SBCX, and I will break it SpaceX a little bit differently. SPCX. You can see SpaceX, I had done the expected measured move from the high to the low on the fibs. So what I want to do is bring it from the daily to that 4-hour or 2-hour 10 days. And the reason why I want to do this, to show you where the 135 open was, that 155, you can see it came down to that 173 and rallied up. I am paying attention to that 185 to 193. If it does clear this area, then we look for the 200 area, 205. If it's going to fall one more time up, and if I'm going to do the anchoring on the VWAP, I'm going to go in the style. I'm going to go anchor. Anchor VWAP. And I'm going to put it in. What I wanted to show you is the band from the beginning of that day where it started. The bottom band is holding. We have the upper band in order to run. I'm looking at that 193 area here in order to push higher. So this is your middle band. This is the upper band on the VWAP, volume weighted average, and that's the bottom band. If it's going to come back in this area and cannot hold here, then the sentiment would be bearish. If it comes up and breaks through here, I'm looking to, because it cleared this 173, I called in the room and rallied up, but came back to close here in the after hours on trading hours. So this is the VWAP I'm looking for eventually to reach in the backside of that downtrend channel, because if it holds this one, I'm going to go get the anchoring for it. We're going to do a clean chart. As we can see, this is my bottom, and I anchor this one to here, and now you can see that upper and lower band. If I do a pitchfork from the top, I wanted everyone to see this, so nobody says, oh, we didn't do this. So if I, let's see if it does. I don't think it's going to do it the way I want. No. We can do a fan. Probably a fan would be better. Fan from the top. I'm just using these as reference points so everyone can get it. And I'm looking for the backside of this channel. If it's going to push up, I'm looking to clear the 170. So you can see the backside of that downtrend channel eventually to the 61.8 coming back towards the 200. This is something to pay attention to on Monday. If the momentum is up, coming up from the long weekend holiday, so you push towards that area, clear the VWAP, and if it stays above the midpoint of the VWAP, then we look for higher levels. And you can use the anchoring on daily basis as well on the chart if you want to use the daily VWAP. I hope this video was helpful. If you have questions, get in contact with us once again at XL, and you can reach me at joe.f@xl, ATRAI.com. So once again, joe.f@xl, ATRAI.com, and you can send me an email right there. I'm more than happy to help. Take care, over and out.